Keshav purchased a kit last month, started practicing. Okay, that's awesome, Keshav. Come to Pune, we are going to do a lot of boxing together. So Vivan, as soon as you tell me, I'll start off. Okay. So hi everyone. What we're going to talk about today is how to build a finance career in DeFi. I'll share my screen very shortly. And I'm going to talk about two opportunities which I think are really good. One is called token economics, and the other one is called DeFi Analyst. And of course, let's keep this interactive. So please feel free to ask questions. Let me just quickly share my screen. So let me know if you can see the word what is token economics written on that. Awesome. So when we use this term token economics, what do we really mean by it? So it's an umbrella term for all the economic models and token distribution methods in the crypto asset and DeFi sector. Now, as you know, I always prefer to use the word crypto asset rather than cryptocurrency because all cryptos are not currencies, but all cryptos are assets, especially under the Indian law also. So I always prefer to use that word. Now, when we talk about crypto assets, they can be divided into 6 groups. So one is what we call as the electronic cash. So things like Bitcoin and Monero, which are supposed to be used as cash or payments, that's what we call electronic cash. Then we have governance cryptos, which are used only for voting. For example, Uniswap. Then we have NFTs. I'm sure all of you are very well versed with what NFTs are, so I won't go into that. Then there are security tokens, which means you are actually giving some kind of equity ownership of the project along with the token, and this comes under the securities laws of whichever country you're doing it. Then we have utility tokens like Ethereum or ETH, which are used to pay for services on a platform. Like you use ETH to pay for creating new tokens, transaction fee. Finally, you have wrapped assets, which means a token backed by a real world asset, like USDT or Tether is backed by something like, the US dollar. So that is one of the kind of things. So what does a token economist really do? So one of the first decisions, so I would always consider myself to be a token economist. One of the first things that we would do is for any given project, we would advise what kind of crypto asset actually makes sense. And then we need to figure out what is the right token economic model. Now that's another very important concept. So there are 4 primary types of models. One is we call the deflationary model. In that, there is a hard cap on the number of tokens. Classic example would be Bitcoin. So we know it is capped at 21 million Bitcoin. Then we have inflationary model where there is no hard cap. Example being Ether or ETH, where you can create as many. Not you, but the project founders. Then we have the dual token model, very, very interesting, where we use different tokens on the same chain. So classic example would be the Theta project, which is into the video streaming. They have 2 tokens, Theta and T-Fuel, and both would serve different purposes. And then finally you have asset-backed model where your token is backed by some asset, fiat currency, gold, commodity, whatever you want it to be. So one of the most important decisions that you would take in token economics is which model are you going to use? Is it all clear till now? Any questions? Someone has asked about a book for DeFi. Honestly, I'm not aware of any book that someone has written on DeFi, but there's a lot of material online, so you'll have to probably refer to that. I'm not aware of any book in there. So this is, like I said, the second decision that a token economist makes, which model to go with, depending upon the use case. And then we have to also consider what are the issues that are going to impact whatever model we take, right? So it would be things like mining, staking, yields, pre-mining, token burns, token allocations, and vesting periods. All these have a very strong impact on our token economics. So mining means a Bitcoin model. Staking would be like now what Ethereum is going to become. Yields, where you get some kind of returns for holding or staking tokens. Pre-mining is when before the project goes live, you have already mined a certain number of tokens. Token burns, classic example what Binance does, they regularly burn tokens to reduce the supply, increase the price. Token allocations and vesting periods are, when the founders are given certain tokens, but they cannot sell it for some time. say maybe a year, maybe few months, maybe 2 years. That is very important because when the vesting period comes and they can actually sell, that can actually crash the tokens in a very big way. I think the GARI token, Gary token of India was probably the one that saw a huge crash. I think it was because the moment the vesting period got over, one of the founders sold. So that's an example of that. Any questions so far? Okay. Could you just quickly give me a clear now if everything's clear and I'm not going too fast? Okay, awesome. Then we have token distribution methods. So one is airdrops, where we give free tokens. So for example, if Ethereum gets hard forked again, which may be expected now because of the merge, if that happens and a new token comes, they are saying it is going to be called ETHW. So that will be the proof of work. All the ETH holders will be able to get free tokens depending upon, so in a one-to-one. So when initially Ethereum forked into two, that was also an airdrop where you got ETC and ETH. Or when Bitcoin Cash forked, BCH came, that give you one-to-one free with all the Bitcoins that you had. Similarly, as a new project also, you could give free tokens to your investors in return for tweeting or promoting your platform online. Palas says it was because of extreme mining, not team dump, as per I remember. Okay, Palas, you may be right on that. I thought it was because of a team dump, but I guess you may be right. So airdrops clear. So again, this is something that the token economist has to figure out, that for a particular project, what are the methods in which they are going to distribute. So airdrops, second is an ICO, not very popular nowadays, but initial coin offerings, which are very, very popular in 2017. Then we have a reverse ICO, which is a very interesting concept, where a bigger business actually merges into a smaller business or a pre-existing token so as to decentralize this ecosystem. Then we have IEO, which is quite popular nowadays. So it's like an ICO, but a crypto exchange does it. So on day one, you list, and then directly your tokens are available through the exchange. Is it all clear? Those three? Any confusions? Example of reverse ICO. That's a very good point. I actually can't remember a successful one. Does anyone else remember any successful reverse ICO? I know a few of them happened 2018, 2019, but offhand, unfortunately, Keshav, I'm unable to remember the names. So a hypothetical example. Okay. So let's take an example of somebody who's already running loyalty points in the real world. Okay. So they are having a lot of customers and their loyalty points are available. Now they decide to merge with a pre-existing token so that all the loyalty points now automatically become crypto tokens which are already available with a lot of people. So that would be a hypothetical example. Ashish says that in a show called Silicon Valley, they used a reverse ICO, if that helps. Oh, that's interesting. I really have to see this show. I saw the first season, but after that I stopped. So maybe I'm going to have a look at it. Thanks for that, Ashish. Then we have another interesting thing, which is called the IDO. So like in IEO, you do your listing through a centralized exchange. In an IDO, you would do it through a decentralized exchange like Uniswap, for example. From LinkedIn, someone has asked, what is the famous model? So I presume you're talking about which is the most famous or most popular of all these. So, well, airdrops almost everyone does. After that, I think an IEO today would be one of the best. Then we also have a DICO, which is like a DAO plus ICO. So you are doing an ICO, but it is also part of, say, a DAO or a decentralized autonomous organization, where the people of the DAO, they can actually vote and refund the money if they are not happy with the progress being made by the developers. So that's another very interesting thing that I think would pick up in the future. Then we have the equity related. So you can do a direct equity offer, security token offer, or something which we call as SAFT, which is like a contract which in future will give a security. But I want to warn you, these are the two most regulated methods. So you need to make sure whichever country you're doing this in, you are complying with the securities law of that country. Otherwise, you would land up in very serious legal troubles. So these were the, now why I was explaining all this was, all this is the job of the token economist. So actually, when I look at what I do, this is something that I do for a lot of startups and my own project, where I advise them on which kind of token, what kind of method they should follow. This complete thing that you saw is what a lot of people like me do. And that I think is a very good career opportunity. And I would say it's quite ideal for people who already have a finance background. So if you have something like a CA, or you've even done, say, some kind of a CFA, MBA finance, then I think this is a very good opportunity. Palace says that Reddit is doing the same with its karma points using Arbitrum. That's very interesting. So Palace, could you explain a little bit more? So is that like what you're saying is like a reverse ICO, where they already have those karma points and now they're going to merge it into a blockchain? That would be pretty interesting. Ritesh asks, has there been any equity trade token offering in India? Not that I'm aware of. No, I've not heard of a single one of them in India. There are some American ones that I have heard of. Laksh says ACCA. Could you explain, Laksh, what that means? Vikram says, I don't have a degree, but can I still make a career in DeFi? Yes, definitely you can. So like I said, it's a benefit if you already have something in finance, but doesn't mean that if you don't have it, it's not an option for you. In fact, I don't have a degree in finance personally. Now I'm sharing the URL for this post that I just showed all of you guys. So you can refer to it after the session, and then it'll help you to understand what a token economist does. Any other questions? Vikram, which part do you want me to repeat? Harmeet says, I am a CA. How can I learn and build something out of DeFi? I joined late. Sure. So don't worry about that. I mean, right now, what I've explained, Vikram, is the part about token economics. Now I'm going to go to the next topic, which is called DeFi Analyst. Okay. So even though, again, I mean, I've never considered myself a token analyst, most of what I'm going to tell you now is something that I do regularly. Now, what I want you to first understand is DeFi analyst is a very established concept, and a lot of jobs are available for this. In token economics, I'm not aware of jobs directly calling it, but usually what we do in token economics is when we do it for a startup or a project, we take a certain percentage of all the tokens of that project. You could get up to 1% of the tokens if you are a very, very experienced token economist. So in token economics, we usually earn as a percentage. In DeFi analyst, you get jobs, and as you can see, the salaries here are pretty good. If you're based in North America, US, Canada, then it's the highest, $145,000 a year. If you do remote, which you could do out of India also, it's 95,000, but try to work for European and American projects. Local domestic projects, say in India and all, they don't pay that high, but it's still $45,000 a year, which honestly speaking is not bad. Any questions on this? Palash has explained that karma points have been their community reputation metrics, and now these will be converted to actual ERC tokens. Yeah, awesome. So that would be an example of a reverse ICO. Vikram says career in DeFi without degree. So like I said, even token economics or DeFi analyst, you don't have to be a person with a degree in finance. How do you accumulate academic valuation for being a token economist? Any certain degree or certification? Ashish, that's a very good point. So I am not actually aware of any course for token economics. I'm starting my own masterclass in that. And well, that's one of my first programs. This is not going to be free, but you can pay in learn tokens. So I'll be announcing this by about Monday. Actually, it depends on Vivan. Vivan, could you tell me when the creator marketplace is going live? As soon as that happens, I will be announcing the token masterclass, and you have to have 500 learn tokens to take that masterclass. No fees in money, as in rupees, but directly in learn tokens. And don't worry, every time that you are watching anything on Creator, like even this session right now, you are all getting your learn tokens in your Creator wallets. So Ashish, I hope that answers your question. I'll be giving you a masterclass very soon. From LinkedIn, how can we start our approach for jobs related to token economists? Also, anything that company secretary can do. Yeah, that's a very good point. So I don't know your name, but whoever's posted this on LinkedIn, that's a very good point. See, for company secretaries, there are very good opportunities, because as a company secretary, you're usually setting up companies also for people, and DAOs also need that expertise. Like, states like Wyoming in the US, they allow you to register a DAO as a company directly. So I think as a company secretary, DAO would be a very good area for you to look into. I think you would be one of the earliest company secretaries in that. Ritesh says, what if we don't have sufficient learn tokens? Yeah, don't worry, you'll have to earn them. So like I said, attend these streams, attend more of my streams, quizzes, so many ways are there. You have to earn the learn tokens. So is this part clear when we are talking about the average salary of a DeFi analyst? Now let's go a little deeper. That what does a DeFi analyst do? So I'm going to share this post with you before I forget, because there's a huge number of things that a DeFi analyst does. But I would say one of the most important things that a DeFi analyst does is searching for profitable crypto market opportunities. So how do you really make money? One is undervalued tokens and projects, which means as of today, the valuation of that crypto project is low, but it should be more because they've actually got a lot of special features. Now that is where, things like mathematical models and other models come in. I have also created my own model called the ROHAS method. So those are the kind of things you need to know to identify undervalued projects, so that when the value shoots up, you make a huge profit. Then you can also make money from test nets. So many projects actually pay you money to run a test net. Even my own project, Hybrid Finance, we pay to people to run our test nets. So that's another opportunity. Then you can find good opportunities in play to earn and move to earn projects. Ambassador programs, so different crypto projects pay you to talk about it and to promote their project. You get paid to run nodes. Then of course DeFi has a lot of opportunities. There are so many different categories of solutions. NFTs is another one. Parachain auctions, which Polkadot does, whitelisting, airdrops, and then of course ICO, IDO, IFO, IU. A lot of these things are going to be something that you would do as a DeFi analyst. So this is the number one thing that we do: search for profitable crypto market opportunities. Any questions on that? Harneet says, I've been in the financial markets for more than 7 years now. I'm very curious about DeFi. I have searched a lot, but I couldn't find something concrete. I want to know how DeFi can change financial world. So, Arvind, what I would recommend to you is I run a free DeFi masterclass. I'm going to share the link with you. Just give me a second. So you can look at all the videos of what we have done so far, and that would give you a very good idea. And the course still has a couple of lectures to go. So I've sent that to you. Sorry. Okay, Abdul says he's a CA. Is this good for my career? DeFi risk assessment. Yes, I think it's an amazing thing, and I think this is really good for chartered accountants. So definitely, Abdul, it will be very good for you. Ashish says, any particular site that help you identify such aspects apart from reading the white paper? Well, that's a good question. So I would say one is, of course, we would look at all their white paper, yellow papers and all that, and then also go to their Discord and other social media platforms. A lot of information you can get from there also. Then Vanish asks, do you know of a Discord community where DeFi is discussed? No, I'm not aware. But again, don't worry here. As soon as I announce my token masterclass, I'm going to make a separate LinkedIn group for DeFi discussions. So definitely. Oh, in fact, sorry, I've already made that group. I have about a few hundred people who've joined. So I'll be able to share that link with you very soon. Okay, if anyone can start registering here. Okay, Vivan. So are you talking about the the marketplace? The store part is live. Okay, that's awesome. So you guys can definitely do that. So this is the number one thing that a DeFi analyst would do. Then what else does a DeFi analyst do? Then we build financial and valuation models. You can see all these. I've sent you the link. I'll jump to something which I think is very important. Yeah. So here I want you to look at point number 7, 8, and 9. Again, very, very critical. So how should the roadmap of the crypto project be? Then we participate in the creation of white paper and other strategic documents. So a white paper is a more, I would say, basic paper about the project. A yellow paper is more where the tech is there. A smaller version of the yellow paper is what we call beige paper. Like this, there are lots of different colors. A smaller version of a white paper is called a light paper. So there are lots of strategic documents that you can create. So that ultimately becomes a DeFi analyst job. Of course, you have to talk to all the teams, but finally making that paper becomes your job. And then you have to decide on the token entry strategies, like how are you going to list through a centralized exchange, decentralized exchange, or whatever. Identifying new crypto projects. So every day you need to be, looking at what are the latest projects coming up so that you can identify what are the best money-making strategies. Palas says, can we start earning learn tokens by going to the missed past videos? Vivan, would you be able to answer that question? It's a very good question, Palas. Okay, so that's for Vivan to answer. Then another thing I'd like to point out to you is, hold on. Yeah. Look at point number 20. So conducting in-depth research on various chains and protocols, that is something that we really need to be good at. Yagnadeep says, I have, one sec. Okay, Yagnadeep, I have learned in my MetaMask how to transfer to Creator Wallet. Yeah, don't worry about that. As soon as the Creator Marketplace goes live, we'll give you an option to transfer from MetaMask into Creator. Any questions on this? I've sent you the link, so you can have a look at this one. And then the final one which I've made is on the skills. So as a DeFi analyst, what are the kind of skills that you should have? So here, of course, it's very important for you to understand how blockchain and decentralized finance works, and then how the different crypto assets work, how do you create, mint, and all that. And now this is something I want all of you to focus. So whether we are talking about being a token economist or a DeFi analyst, you have to understand these protocols which I have listed here. So you know what are bridges, collateralized debt positions, crypto derivatives, all these names that you see here, they are very, very important for you to know, because you need to understand all of them. Only then you will be able to figure out for a given crypto project what is it that you should recommend. Like, you know, so you can get inspiration from a lot of these projects. So we have to keep looking at them, and I found in my personal experience sites like DeFi Llama are very useful. So you know, for each of these categories they would list the top projects and makes it very easy for you to understand. Also have a look at a site called Token Terminal, that will also give you a lot of information. Now that I've shared these URLs and everything with you, I think I am going to now stop sharing my screen and let me directly handle your questions. So like I said, if we want to talk about making a career in finance in DeFi, two opportunities: token economist and DeFi analyst. Now I'm starting my masterclass very soon, in which I'm going to teach you the details of all this, and we are going to look at some of the successful projects and unsuccessful projects, analyze all their documents and figure out, you know, what they did right, what they did wrong. In fact, I believe we can learn more from failed projects than we can from successful ones. Yagnadeep asked, is DeFi a Ponzi scheme? How can this career make sense? Well, if DeFi is a Ponzi scheme, so I would kind of disagree with you on that, Yagnadeep. All DeFi projects are not Ponzi's. Many of them are, there is no doubt. So we got to look at what's happening. Let's take a classic example of Ethereum. So Ethereum is a blockchain on which billions of dollars of projects are running. So I can't really call an Ethereum blockchain to be a Ponzi. You look at bridges, they are enabling cross blockchain transfers. Again, very good use case. Like this, there are lots of very successful use cases where people can make a ton of money. Then again, there are a lot of fake Ponzi kind of projects. But then we need to identify, and even in the real world, in the stock markets and everywhere in life, we still have Ponzi schemes. It's not like Ponzi is restricted to DeFi. So we've got to be careful about how we do the schemes. But yes, there are all sorts of rug pull scams and Ponzi's everywhere. Any other questions? Palas says, any finance where you are exit liquidity? No, Palas, could you explain that to me? Could you explain clearly what you mean by that question? I didn't really understand it. Anybody else has any questions? So, like I said, if you want to get into this field, just wait for a few days. Let me announce my masterclass. That's one good way to start. Ritesh says, in case of the ETH POS merge fails, what in your opinion would happen to the projects running on it? That's an excellent question, and I'm quite apprehensive about Ethereum moving to proof of stake, and I'll give you two reasons for it. So one is it's not tested naturally, and the second is proof of work has been successfully tested for more than a decade. You know, whether we talk about Bitcoin, Bitcoin forks, and Ethereum itself. So everyone knows it's very strong. Now, POS is very new, and if something goes wrong, I mean, it could really end up creating a lot of problems. Although I think the amount of testing they have done, the chances of failure may be just 1%. But yeah, if that happens, it's a mess. And I guess you should move to better blockchains if that happens. Yeah. Is there any job profile in the current finance industry which, okay, Vaibhav, your question I think got cut halfway. Shashank says, how do you predict the job market will grow in India? So Shashank, that's a very good option, a very good question. So I think, with the government of India setting up the gift city in Gandhinagar, and there a special new regulator has come called IFSCA, which is having the powers of multiple regulators. So what in the rest of India is done by RBI, SEBI, and IRDA for banking, securities, and insurance. All the powers are with one regulator, IFSCA. With the establishment of that, and that's one of the first in the world, I think a lot of projects from around the world will start to register there. And I would say that that would lead to a huge boom. Secondly, the Indian government has now made crypto tax clear. So even though some people may say 30% is high, it is not applicable to all projects. So if you're making projects which are backed by real world assets or relating to gift or low loyalty point kind of things, then that 30% tax doesn't apply to you. With this clarity, now we are not worried that suddenly crypto will get banned again. So now I think more and more Indian projects will start to come up. Vansh's question is, can staking give more returns than traditional investments like an FD? No, I would say don't go for that, because I'll tell you the problem. So while on the face of it, it may, like earlier before, till March 31st this year, I used to recommend buying USDT, Tether stablecoin, putting it on a crypto exchange in India and getting some 12 to 13% per annum return. Plus you are getting the benefit of the dollar price going up. But after 1st April, I don't do it, and I don't recommend anyone to do it. And now, of course, when we have to also factor in, while initially the rate may sound higher, what if the project fails? You lose all your money. So no, don't compare it to an FD, because an FD is like 99.9% secure unless the bank shuts down, which is a rare event. So I wouldn't recommend anyone to do staking just to earn that yield or return. I don't think it's a good opportunity for retail investors. Ashish says, I plan to join my master's degree. Do you think a master in fintech will help? If yes, which countries in Europe do you find that most suitable for DeFi growth? So Ashish, that's a very good question. And in fact, I've told my daughter also, who's now in 12th, that she should do a degree graduation in fintech. So I'm very bullish on fintech, because fintech is financial technologies. And actually, if you see, blockchain crypto comes as a part of it. So definitely, if you can do a master's in fintech, I think that would be very good. And as far as Europe is concerned, I think we would see a lot of good action in some of the East European countries. We can expect to see good ones in Switzerland, and then UK and Germany also. Although I would still say US is again a very big market you should consider. Then there are places in Europe called like Malta, Estonia. They are also having very positive laws. So those again would be very good. Japan is an amazing thing, even though it's not in Europe, but that's a very good country too for DeFi. Okay, Vaibhav asks, is there any current job profile in finance industry which matches skill set of token economics so that we will get prior experience? So I would say the current job profile which you will find everywhere is for DeFi analyst. Okay. Okay, Ashish has given an answer to once, so you can have a look at whatever question is. But I would continue to say I'm not recommending that you guys put your money in there thinking it's better than a fixed deposit. Palas says, I have engineering background with knowledge of token economics. What should be next steps in terms of portfolio or applying? So what I would say, I keep recommending a site called web3.careers. I made a list of 5-6 sites and I put it on my Insta as a post. Go there and start applying. If you've never worked before, I would say start with an internship in that. But you will find lots of opportunities for internships as well as full jobs on web3.careers and few of the other sites that I have mentioned. Hope that answers your question, Palash. By the way, if you guys are interested in the Ethereum merge, today I'm doing 2 sessions for NDTV. One is English, one is Hindi on this particular thing. And I'm also going to be doing a Twitter Spaces today on Ethereum merge. Any other questions you guys have? Gagan says, can you request the creator team to notify for a live stream a couple of hours earlier for the second time? I missed. Okay. So yeah, Vivan, I think that's a good suggestion from Gagan. Right now, I think it comes just 10 minutes before. So maybe can we start doing it at least 1 or 2 hours before? So Vivan, I hope you heard that part. Tushar, the time of the Twitter Spaces, I think, is 8 o'clock. 8 p.m. is, I think, when it is. Let me just check. If you follow me, you will immediately get a notification when I go live. So let me just cross check it. Give me a minute. It's going to be a pretty interesting spaces. There are going to be lots and lots of people. So I strongly recommend that you come for that. Yeah, it's at 8 p.m. today. Okay. So yeah, Vivan, I hope you will be able to do that. Ritesh says time for the NDTV show. 6:30 and 7, I think. 6:30 is the Hindi one and 7 is the English one, or vice versa. Nikhil says, I'm a BMS graduate. Nikhil, could you tell me what BMS means? I'm not sure what the full form is. Yeah, Shinam, 6:30 is the time. Yeah. What is the main reason behind crypto market crash? Yeah, Vikram, that's a good question. I did a post on it where I gave the top 10 reasons for the crypto crash. So I would strongly recommend you could just go through that. It's there on my Instagram feed. So there are lots and lots of reasons. The number one reason I would say was overvaluation. I mean, all the projects, even the bad ones, had gone way too high. So naturally, a crash was expected. And in fact, I think it's a good thing because it brings things back to a better valuation. And now a lot of the good projects are available at a very good price. Bachelor of Management Studies. Yeah, well, then that's a very good combination because I'm presuming in your BMS you did have topics relating to finance. So that would definitely give you an edge. Any other questions? Opinion on what key trends to look out while researching new tokens? Sure. So that's from Preston. So what I would recommend whenever you look at new projects, look at the ROHAS. I know it's named after myself, but it makes sense. So the R stands for the revenue model, O stands for organization behind it, H stands for the history, A for the algorithm and tech stack, and S stands for the social community. So when you analyze based on all these, you can give a rating of 0 to 10. And then you can pick which one makes the most sense, when you grade different projects. So graded out of 10, you get a total score of 50. And I would say stay away from anything which is below a 35. But don't worry, in my token economics class, I'll be explaining this more. Ashish's question is it more advisable to take up a course which is more blockchain centric, or should I go for fintech degree from a reputed university? Example, Malta. Okay. I have great courses, but small. Okay. So I would say if you're doing a course, I would strongly recommend go to a more famous country, a larger country like UK or Germany or Switzerland, and try to do a course which is more around fintech where blockchain is a part. If you're doing masters, don't go just for blockchain masters. Do it in fintech where blockchain is a part because you will learn so many other things. And that will actually help you more in building your career. And I'm giving you that advice because you're talking about a master's in that. If on the other hand, you just want to straight away get into the field, then obviously you would just go for DeFi and token economics. But for masters, I would say go for fintech. Ashish says, I have completed BCom honors and my ultimate goal has always been to become a DeFi valuation specialist. Well, that's amazing. So in that case, I mean, you can definitely look for jobs, like I said, through web3.careers. That would be pretty good for you. But like I said, Ashish, if you're going to the UK for this or another country for masters, then go for fintech. Hardeep says that being in financial markets for such a long time, never got trust on crypto. But looking at DeFi and changes it can bring, it's like FOMO to learn about what's happening in the space. So yeah, sure, it makes a lot of sense. Crypto always looks Ponzi scheme, but on the other hand, creates FOMO as people are entering into Web3. So yes, Hardeep, there are scam and Ponzi's everywhere, not just in DeFi. That just the media likes to talk more about it. So you think that it is DeFi where Ponzi's are everywhere. So don't worry about that. I think you should really learn about it. So Abhishek, you wanted to know my Twitter ID? It's Rohas Nagpal. So because nobody else in the world has my name, I've got my handle everywhere. So whichever platform you are following me on, it's ROHASNAGPL. That's it. Simple to remember. Yes, Viman has put a photo of me punching again. When will your token economics course be available from Weber? I'll be announcing it by Monday, I think. I'm just waiting for Creator to make the masterclass, the marketplace go live so that you know where to get tokens from. And I think by Monday, we will be announcing that. Suraj says, which programming languages is best for blockchain development? Good question. So I made separate posts on that. It's more from a tech point of view. But I would say things like Python, Node.js, these are very good. So if you're just starting out, I would strongly recommend doing Python and Node.js. And of course, then there is Solidity for smart contract writing. Ritesh asks, are you launching a course on legal aspects of crypto? Yes, in fact, I am. So that is being done by Asian School of Cyber Laws. And we will be announcing that course very early next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday. How do I get a blockchain-based research job for beginners? So go to web3.careers. That's a domain actually, .career. So there you will find and just search for the word intern or research and all, and you will immediately get a huge list of opportunities. So Aditya, that would be fairly easy for you to get that. Any other questions? Is it all clear? And I hope you guys are aware of Learn tokens. Even if you're not, don't worry. I'm going to be doing a live stream very soon on explaining the whole Learn token economy. So I would strongly recommend that you guys attend that session. I'll do it very soon next week. Do give Silicon Valley a watch. I have a feeling you'd love it. Yeah, Ashish, thanks for it. I'm definitely going to look at it. How many seasons are there of it, by the way? And where is it available? Is it on Netflix or Amazon? Thank you, Palash, so much for that. Oh, it's on Hotstar. Okay, I'll definitely have a look at it on Hotstar. Amazing. I'm currently watching something called Homeland on that, which is like total spy stuff. But yeah, after that, I'll definitely watch Silicon Valley. 6 seasons. Okay, that's cool. I'll definitely have a look at that. Gautam's question is, for masters, which course is best for non-IT graduate, fintech, blockchain? Yeah, so it is good, but again, it depends on where the course is, what the exact syllabus is. So what you can do is you can just send me the URL for the courses that you have shortlisted, and maybe I'll try to advise you. Or if a lot of you are interested in this, maybe we'll do a stream on that where we'll just compare some of the top courses, and then we'll try to figure out which make the most sense. Yeah, sure, Sana and Gautam, we'll definitely do that. Okay, sir, I want to know about previous career as you are giving your best. Okay, I didn't understand what you meant by that, Suraj. Previous career, what do you really mean? I talk about my previous career, what I was doing. Can you just clarify? Oh yeah, my career, definitely. So I started off in the early 1990s as a hacker. At that time, we did not call ourselves ethical hackers. We were just called hackers. And at that time, I had to do my BCom because there was no engineering course like computer science available. I'm talking about the year 1990 or 91. I forgot the exact time. We did not have courses in that. So I did a BCom, but I started working, learned computers on my own, did hacking for Singapore-based companies for many years. Then in 1999, I started Asian School of Cyber Laws, and I got into cybercrime investigation and cyber law. I did my law also in Simbi around that time. And then I had the privilege of working for 18 different countries, the law enforcement departments, military agencies, and top corporates, but in the area of cybercrime investigation. So in fact, that is when I first heard of Bitcoin in 2011, when we were investigating a case of the Colombian drug mafia using Bitcoin for payments. So that's how I first came. And then I got really fascinated. And 2015, 2016, I moved into the blockchain space. And one of the first things we did was Bankchain, I along with Shinam Arora. And we had 37 of the world's top banks with us. But then because the RBI shut down, they did a ban on crypto, we closed that project. And since then, we are working on the hybrid finance project. So that's a quick overview. You can go to my site and see this in detail. I can see some other questions. My boxing career, oh, okay, no. Boxing was never a career, it's just out of interest. Okay, Tushar says you look young compared to someone. Oh, Tushar, thank you so much. I'm turning 50 this year. 6th November, I turn 50. So you're most welcome to send me whatever gifts you want. I would strongly recommend that if you can send me some Litecoins, that's good. But whatever you want to send, you're most welcome. From YouTube, someone says, any suggestions of Web3 projects to build? I would say build something around tokenization of real world assets. I think that's going to be the next huge thing. How much BTC bought in 2015? Gautam, you will be surprised to know what I did. I mined Bitcoin in 2011, I think. And then I deleted all my Bitcoins because I never thought it will be valuable. And you remember at that time we used to get 50 Bitcoins per block. And I mined a lot of blocks. Even today I go to my address and I can see my old Bitcoins. But I deleted the private keys when I shifted my laptop because I never thought Bitcoin would ever become so valuable. So unfortunately, I have 0 Bitcoins. I'm really sad about that. Someone has shared a link. I'll be able to go through that link after the session is done. So I'll definitely have a look at that link. Let me see something else. So Palas says, need a whole session for your Silk Road case experience. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Oh, that was an amazing incident. So, how Silk Road used to function and how we did investigations. So if you guys are interested in crypto investigation, let me know. I mean, I can definitely talk a lot about it. Suraj says, I'm connected with you on all social media. That's amazing. One says, I've lived life. Sure. Vivan says he will send me learn tokens. Oh, Vivan, I would prefer Litecoins instead. USDT will also do. By the way, USDC may now have a big problem because Binance is removing it. So Binance is now moving USDC and other stable coins and they're converting it compulsorily into BUSD, which is their stable coin. So be careful of that. How many learning coins required for attending your this thing? So I was going to keep it 1,000, but Vivan said to keep it lower because people don't have that many coins yet. So 500 is what you need for the token economics masterclass. Abhishek is keen on crypto investigation course. Yeah, I'll be announcing that sometime next month. Keshav says cake. Yes, Keshav, you can send me the pancake swap crypto cake and you can send me the regular cake also. I'm okay with both. By the way, my favorite is called the Japanese jiggly cake. It's amazing. How much you lost by deleting private keys? Do you regret? Abdul, that's a very good question. So yes, I definitely regret. And every time I see Bitcoin prices going up, I feel even worse, especially when it had gone to 69,000. Well, I can just tell you that if I had not deleted it, I would have retired years ago. So yeah, it was quite a bit. It was 50 per block. So bare minimum, it was 50 Bitcoins, but it was more than that. But now I'm over it. It's been so many years. So I don't care anymore. I can make fun of it. Palace says your views on tokenized real estate. Well, legal issues, way too many problems. So because of that, my project, we are starting with intellectual property. So please start with a project of tokenization which has as little problems as possible. Real estate has so many legal issues. So don't start with it. You will just get stuck in that for a very long time. Session on investigation, Gautam. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. Books on DeFi, like I said, I'm not aware of books on it, but there's lots of very good material available. I have something called the DeFi blog on Substack. That's another useful thing. Shashank says, CSC engineer, what books or websites should I need for crypto projects? So DeFi Llama is a good place to start and then go into the project. So I would recommend directly go to the websites and white papers of the projects themselves. Nothing is a better way of learning. Opinion on Coinbase lawsuit against US Treasury. I don't think they're going to win. Where do I see my learn tokens? Gagan's question. Vivan, would you be able to tell them how they can see their learn tokens if you can put the URL below so they can see how many learn tokens they have? Can I move my funds from WazirX to Binance for staking? Suraj's question is on will it be taxable? No. So when you are moving your crypto from one exchange to another, it's not a sale. So that transfer is not resulting in any profit. So no, there is no tax on it. I'm presuming you are doing a direct Bitcoin to Bitcoin transfer. You're not converting Bitcoin to something else. So as long as it's a direct coin to coin transfer, don't worry, you don't have to pay any tax on that. Crypto investigation stories will pull a lot of traffic for sure if you make post of your experiences. So Ashish, that's definitely a very good suggestion. I'm noting it down. Just give me a second. So crypto investigation session. Definitely. I'll do a class on that very soon. Kartika says, can a web developer get into blockchain developer without prior experience? Yes, you can. I mean, provided you had really good experience as a web developer, you may be able to offset that requirement. Otherwise, worst case scenario, I would say at least do an internship in Web3. Gautam says, is it possible to get your keys by quantum computing? So Gautam, the day that becomes a reality and you can hack keys, well, then you can hack everyone's keys. And then Bitcoin becomes zero, online banking becomes zero. I mean, everything. The world will be over the way we know it. So I doubt whether it'll happen, but if it happens, Bitcoin will become worthless. So it doesn't matter anymore. Yagnadeep says, opinion on the future of decentralized cloud and GPU. Good question. So GPU is what Ethereum miners used, and Bitcoin miners use ASICs. So now with Ethereum mining stopping, I would say GPUs are kind of becoming useless. Decentralized cloud. So I'm a big fan of projects like Filecoin and Siacoin, which are decentralized cloud based. So I'm quite bullish because they're very cheap. I mean, it's not about centralization. The cost is like 1/10 of AWS. So some of those projects I think will do pretty well. Ashish says, please post a compilation of tools that you use to identify projects, papers, metrics. Research sites for equity are much more available than crypto. Sure, Ashish. So join the token masterclass. I will be covering all these tools in that. As of right now, I would strongly recommend you can use sites like Token Terminal, DeFi Llama, CoinMarketCap, Messari. These are some of the best. And I'm combining a lot of these into my own site, which is called Future Money Wallet. So there you'll be able to get access to a lot of the APIs. Initially, only Token Economics Masterclass students will get access to it, and then slowly I'll roll it out to others. How do we create our own Bitcoin wallet? Not on any exchange. So I would say there's so many available, so don't start your own. But then there are lots of API services which can make it easy for you to do it. Have a look at Tatum API, as well as there's another API service, Alchemy. So I think both of them will make your job easier. Non-IT background person for DeFi. So yeah, IT is not important for DeFi. A little knowledge of finance is good. Any place where startup ideas on blockchain are discussed? Shashank, that's a good question. I run a group called Blockchain Bulls on LinkedIn. Maybe that's one good place you could start. Link for my Discord. No, once I don't have a Discord. I find Discord too complicated and too confusing an interface. So I'm there on LinkedIn and Twitter, Insta and YouTube, but not on Discord. Coinmetrics, is that a site, Palash? Coinmetrics.com. Okay, awesome. If you found that interesting. Aditya, how to join Token Masterclass? Just wait till about Monday. I'll disclose it. All details will be there. Are you into NFTs? Recently, people are losing money with just a click. NFTs, I would say 99% of them are absolutely hopeless. And I've been saying it forever. No, I don't invest in NFTs. Unless, of course, if you're talking about postage stamps issued by countries, I love collecting stamps. So maybe I'll buy, say, a Swiss government NFT for the postage stamp. No, I have not done it yet. But other than that, no, I don't like NFTs. Aditya, I'll be announcing about the Token Masterclass pretty soon. Any prerequisites for joining Token Master? So in the meanwhile, Kartika, while I will announce it, I would say just go through my DeFi Masterclass. It's there on my website. A lot of videos and articles are there. Just go through them. So that will actually help you a lot of the things you would have already understood. Any other questions? All clear? Okay, great. It was a lovely session speaking to all of you. And based on your advice, I'll definitely do a session on crypto investigation very soon. And okay, last question I'll take. Dhwanil says, how do I get started learning blockchain development? So I run the blockchain developer course along with Shinam. We do all our sessions on Creator. So you can attend the sessions and it's freely available. Yeah. Time to complete DeFi course. So DeFi Masterclass, I think there are 2 weeks to go. And then after that, I'll start off with the Token Economics Masterclass. Yeah. Okay, see you guys. And like I said, you can join me on NDTV today, 6:30 and 7 for Ethereum merge. And then I'm doing a Twitter Spaces at about 8 o'clock, again on Ethereum merge. So I'll see you guys there. Bye-bye.